Hello, hello. Welcome to your daily dose of awesome, 15 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education just to start your day right. So my name is Marinda Bandat. I've been a coach with Elite Marketing Pro for the last 14 months, and I'm going to share some tips with you today because very often I get this question, but I've just joined my network marketing company, so I'm not a leader yet. I'm not a mentor yet. How can I help and lead people? So I'm going to give you 6 things that I've learned about leadership through being a mentor, and I know that that will help you. So for those of you that don't know me, just hop on here, say hi. I'd like to give you a shout out. For those of you that are family and we've known each other for a bit, please do so too. And I'd like to just give you guys a shout out and say hi. So I see Adrian is on, Terry is on. So great to have you guys here. So let's jump straight into it. So I think 6 things that I've learned about leadership by being a mentor. And very often, like I said, people have this perception that they cannot be a leader. They have the role as a leader tied to how long you've done something. And I want to submit to you that it really doesn't have that much to do with time. It's got more about how do you implement things, what have you learned, how vulnerable are you when you work with people, and what do you have that can provide value for someone else. Because once people get to know, like, and trust you, you are established as a leader and you are well on your way. So does a mentor have a role to teach you skills and share experiences and help you with perceptions and perspective? Absolutely. But here's one thing that I want to start off with, and that is when you see the world dispassionately, it makes a difference to the sense of when you seek advice, you need the situation's facts. And what we find is every single time when people seek advice, they come from a point of giving the facts, but it also comes with emotional baggage because it's personal. It's you and I feeling it in our gut when you have to, give that and seek that advice. So when you are emotional, it limits what you are actually experiencing. So I always say, this is a phrase that clients that I coach will know very well: high emotion, low intelligence. The higher the emotion goes, unfortunately, the intelligence drops because the emotion is just taking over. So the higher you want your intelligence to be, the emotion needs to come down. Because as you are working with people, you will see that it's simply noise that distracts people from actually making powerful decisions. And that's what we teach so strongly with Elite Marketing Pro, is to help people, to move them to make strong decisions, to make powerful decisions. Now, you can learn from this because the emotional noise that you and I experience when we are in a situation, it just distorts your thinking. And that's why I always say high emotion, low intelligence. So you will see the team always talking about you have to be able to verify the results externally. So how do we make that practical? If you look at an ad that you're currently running, when you look at something that you've created, it's your brainchild, you are emotional about it. But what do I mean by saying, let's look at it and verify it externally? When you submit it to have our traffic coaches look at that, will they view it internally? Will they have a visceral reaction when they look at your ad? And the answer is absolutely not. So they are looking at the metrics. What does the metric say? Is that ad healthy or is it not healthy? And when you start getting into the habit where you look at things and verify it externally, you will get that emotional noise to a level where the intelligence can actually rise above it. So no matter how small or how insignificant you think your next assignment is, come prepared, go prepared, and show up as a leader. It's the difference between an amateur and a pro, because most people, they show up like they have prepared, which is nothing. And when they don't get the result, they go into self-doubt, and it's like, maybe I'm not good at this. Maybe I'm not a leader yet. And those are just spiraling thoughts of someone who's working internally and they're not externally verifying things. So as guys are hopping on, there's quite a few people hopping on. Yeah, Masha's in the house, Cherie, Nadia, Jan is in, Zoe is on. Hey, you guys, great having you on here. So point number 2, you make connections you may have overlooked. So that's one of the things that I learned through leadership, because here's the thing, as a mentor, you are not an expert on everything. You are an expert at certain areas of what you are a mentor on, but you can never ever be the expert on everything. So when you connect people to someone who is better suited to help them and support them, it's not to take away from you. It is actually to serve that person, because that person will be better helped and better served if someone who is qualified for that particular part of the mentorship than you. So, example, when you have the coaches that you will find in the Elite Marketing Pro community, you will find ignition coaches, you will find VIP coaches, you will find fast track coaches, you will find traffic coaches, you will find technical coaches, and then you have our superb support staff. So every single one of us has a specific role in this big engine, and it means to connect people to where they can be served the best. So on that note, a little question for you guys: how active are you in the community? Because every single coach that I just mentioned, plus our support staff, are in that community, ready and eager, waiting for you to ask a question that we can serve you and help you. But here's the thing. If you are quiet and you are never engaging in that community, we assume all is well. So we do not know that you are struggling. So the connections that you could potentially make by being in that group, actively partaking and getting your questions answered, priceless. All right. So it creates a winning collaboration for all parties when you start to make connections with other experts in this community. So step number 3, you learn to ask new questions. Now, as a coach, this is one thing that on continuous training with Elite Marketing Pro and 13 years of experience in this industry has taught me, is people want to feel heard and people want to be supported. So when you start asking the right questions, not just the nice fluffy questions that makes people feel good, and flip comments like "you're wonderful, you're great, you can do this," if it's not heartfelt, people smell it a mile away. So how many of you have dealt with people where they are great at what they do, but they are just not interested in having your back? They're not interested in hearing what it is that you need. They are not supportive of what it is and the way that you want to move forward. How many of you have had such an experience, and how did that leave you? How did you feel after the interaction with such a person? So as you guys are hopping on, if you can just put in the comment box, how did it leave you? How did you feel when you had that interaction with that person and you didn't feel heard and you did not feel supported? So drop a comment for me in the comment box if you guys don't mind. So step number 4 and point number 4 is, when you are learning about leadership through mentorship, you recognize the human aspects. And boy, oh boy, is that a loaded comment, because very often when you go into network marketing mode, it's this piranha mode that I have to get new prospects, I have to recruit more, I have to sell more, and you forget the human element in that. So a good mentor will not just tell you that you should perform better. The best mentorship calls and support and coaching calls that I've had was with mentors that have told me and shared with me and taught me how to build trust, how to act with kindness, how to do the right thing, even in times when it is so tough to do the right thing, but to still persistently moving forward, doing the right thing. So when you recognize that human aspect and you are focused on building trust, acting kindness, doing the right thing, boy, oh boy, hard things will always remain hard. I can tell you that. And things do not get easier when you put them off. So when you have to have difficult conversations with people in your team, your upline, someone at the office, a family member, a child, it does not get easier if you procrastinate and you don't do that. Best is rip that Band-Aid off. Please, please, please do not send an email. Do not send a text. Face-to-face, phone call. Because in an email, you can never read someone's intent. You can never read someone's heart. So if that's the only way you can do it, send an email, but follow it up with a call. The human aspect is so critically important for anything that you and I do in our network marketing teams, our relationships at home. Everything comes back to that. So I want to submit to you to treat people well under any circumstance, because the world is small. We're all humans, we all get emotional, and emotions do make people do weird things. So don't do weird things to people, because they will start acting weird. So point number 5, revisit your story and growth. And isn't that an amazing thing? Because as a coach, I hear this so often, where people say, you know what, my story is so boring, my story is so small, I don't have anything to contribute. And I want to submit to you that your story needs to be heard, because there's only one you. And you can never be someone else in this community or outside of this community. You can only strive to be the best version of you. And I want to tell you tonight, my friends, you are enough. Whoever you are out there, whoever is hopping on this call, watching it as a replay, or if you are on this call with me tonight, this live, and you are having doubts if you have what it takes, I want to tell you, you have what it takes. You are good enough, and someone needs to hear your story. Whether it's a small story or a short story where you started, failure is totally overrated. It's merely a different word for a learning experience. But I know once you are in that situation, it's sometimes tough to think, hey, this is a learning experience. It feels like a failure, but it's only a failure if you give up and you don't carry on and you don't get up one more time. Then it's a failure. Until that happens, it's a learning experience. So there's nothing wrong with being sad, frustrated, angry. We all have those emotions, but don't stay in it. Don't put up camp there. So when you've got a story to tell, share that, because your story makes you vulnerable, and that makes you real. That makes you real. People will relate to you when you become vulnerable and share your story, because if you keep asking people questions, it turns into an interrogation. When you share a little bit of yourself and you ask for a question to be answered, then it becomes a conversation. And when you get into a conversation and you are vulnerable, sharing about your experiences, that is super, super powerful. So Melissa is on you. Hey, Melissa, great of you to be here. I feel perplexed. Awesome. Jamel, what does that mean? So Billy Cornell says frustrated. Yes. So you were perplexed after interaction where someone did not treat you properly. Billy said she felt frustrated. Been there, done that, felt irritated. Yeah, I struggled with asking the right questions. That's a great comment to make. So how could you get better, Jamel, asking better questions? What might good questions look like? So when you go out of your world into someone else's world and you look to serve someone else, what might that question look like? Because if you are focusing on yourself, wanting to be the answer, wanting to be the person who benefits the most, it will be a different question as opposed to thinking about how can I serve you? How might I help you? If I could ask this question and really get you engaged on it, how might that be a different result for you? So number 6, you thinking is more valuable than me thinking. So focusing on any relationship, how that will benefit you, is far less effective than if you can focus on having the opportunity to help someone else. It's with every single relationship. It's not just network marketing or a home-based business or affiliate businesses that relationships are important. If you are only focused on yourself and your relationship with your spouse, with your partner, with your kids, with your colleagues, with your friends, it will be short-lived. When you are effective in putting other people first, how can you serve them? Boy, oh boy, does that put a different angle on that relationship. So I want to submit to you, what will serve you well is if you can focus on someone else. So I want to leave you with one thought tonight, and then I want to maybe just give you access to an amazing training that is about to launch on the 12th of March. So be curious. Set out this week to learn one new thing every single day. It's something you're going to do deliberately if you need to get curious. And I want to remind yourself that you want to learn something new today, every single day for the next 7 days. Not, I need to do this. I want to learn something new every single day, whether it's this small or whether it's this big. But I'm going to be deliberate to be curious to learning more about the people I interact with, the teams that I serve, the clients that I work with. How can I serve them better by being deliberate about learning more about them and becoming more vulnerable as a coach and as a mentor? So I hope those 6 points have really added some value for you guys. And I really want to make sure that it just moves you forward one little step to get you thinking about how might you become more effective in what it is you do. And then I want you to maybe make a note. I'm going to put it here in the comments box for you as well. Make sure that you visit this link that I've just put in there, the enrollmentclass.com, because that is a brand new, spanking new training that Tim Mattenfernie is rolling out on the 12th of March, where you will have access to the expert branded enrollment funnel. And that course is starting on the 12th of March at 1 p.m. Eastern. So go and check out that link that I've just dropped for you in the comments box, and have a super, super blessed week. I cannot wait to see you in the community. Take care. Bye.